There were some guys having dinner in, it looks to me like Washington, D.C. or New York. And maybe it's Montreal. Those cities can look pretty similar. We know about the riots that occurred in Montreal, the pro-Hamas riots. And these two guys are having dinner, and the cameraman walks up to them, cell phone or GoPro, and decides that they have to speak because he says speak.
Free Palestine, free Palestine. When you hear the word Palestine, how does it make you feel, guys? Huh? You're just trying to have dinner? Yeah, no comment? It's a no comment kind of night?
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, this is public property and there's something called the First Amendment. So, yep, it's not going to be a no comment kind of night. What's your stance on Palestine?
Sorry, we're just having dinner.
Oh, you're sorry, man?
Yeah.
But you're like Barack Obama. Your words are very important. You need to choose them really wisely. Any misstep of your words would be critical right now.
Yeah, I'm just having dinner.
You're just having dinner? No stance on Palestine? You have a stance on Israel? I think he does. He's got a sneaky stance. There's some sneaky guys. They're looking sad. It's hard to commit genocide. It's very sad. All right, ladies. You guys have a good one, ladies. Take care. Yep. All right.
Yeah, I think it's New York. The trick is this. He who asks the questions controls the conversation. Ask questions. Hi, what's your name? Why are you asking us questions when you're not introducing yourself? You know what social intercourse means? No, not the filthy kind. Social intercourse. It means to have an interchange of ideas, an exchange of thoughts. So what brings you by? What's your intention in asking the question? Are you an independent journalist? What's the organization for which you work? Now, it'll make someone like that deeply, deeply uncomfortable. In fact, something happened to me like this in New York, and it was a gorgeous opportunity to test this theory. Now, this was all coming along at the same time that Canada had proven once again that it has fallen. I'll show you an interaction between Ezra Levant and some, former cops. They still get to wear the uniform, but they're not really cops because Ezra, who is in fact Jewish, got arrested for doing something that you shouldn't get arrested for. That happened in Canada as well. I'll show you that and tell you what happened to me in New York when I was the one getting questioned. There's a whole bunch of questions post-election about our economy. President Trump has surrounded himself with some very good people and some super questionable people. Operation Warp Speed's back together, baby. That could be very, very bad. But then there's RFK Jr. And he says he's going to go after the pharma companies. And Rand Paul has it in for Tony Fauci. God bless Rand Paul. And President Trump has said he's going to bring Keystone Pipeline back online. He's looked at micronuclear. He's looking at tariffs. All of this is going to affect the economy, particularly when you got Mitch McConnell, who will kneecap anything that's going to harm the Chinese Communist Party because that's where Mitch makes his money. So what does the economy look like post-election? More importantly, what is it going to do to your retirement account? Things have changed. Get a look at this with a professional. Zach Abraham, Chief Investment Officer, Bulwark Capital Management, will get with you on a phone call or a video discussion. He'll even welcome you out to his offices out near Seattle, and he'll go through it step by step. How old are you? What does retirement mean to you? Because it means different things to different people. To me, it means a 14-square-foot cabin and books and a CrossFit gym and a church. My wife has a different plan. What does it mean to you? To Zach, it means knowing exactly how much money you'll have every month for the rest of your life while you're retired. So take it up. It's free. It's no obligation. And Zach will give you guidance. Go to knowyourriskradio.com. That's KNOW, knowyourriskradio.com, or call Zach at 866-779-RISK.
Investment advisory services offered through Trek Financial LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The opinions expressed in this program are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security. Any references to performance of securities are thought to be materially accurate, and actual performance may differ. Investments involve risk and are not guaranteed. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Trek 24308.
I was in Union Square in New York City and waiting for a friend of mine to go hang out for half a day. I was doing business with her. Doing business there, and with my wife's permission, I was going to hang out with this high school friend. And so she was late. She texted me or emailed me, I think at the time, and said, hey, I'm going to be late. No problem. So I was sitting and watching the Occupy Wall Street protesters, and they were going by and asking people questions. And I was sitting there going, oh, choose me, choose me, choose me, choose me. Finally, they come up and all intimidating, because I was in a suit and tie. This is back when I was wearing all that stuff. They come up and they put the camera in my face. And what do you think about fairness? What do you think about giving people an equal shake? What do you think about shutting down Wall Street? Hi, is Kylie Layson here? What? Is Kylie Layson here? Oh, don't you guys know about the offices at First and First? Someone's paying for that. Wasn't that laundered through Kylie and Adbusters? By the way, is Van Jones part of your organization? This is before Van was on CNN. He was still an organizer in the background. Is Van Jones here? Because I'd love to meet those guys. Geniuses, utter geniuses. I may not agree with everything they say. By the way, how much did that camera cost? That's a cool camera. That's like a Sony Pro. That's like a $1,000 camera, isn't it? They started to answer my questions. And then a white woman, my age, yells from across Union Square, stop, stop, stop. Don't answer his questions. Don't answer his questions. Stop filming, stop filming. She walked up and said, hi. And she introduced herself. I forget her name, shook my hand. Nice to meet you. She goes, who are you? I said, oh, I'm just a guy hanging out waiting for a friend. Who are you asking about? Kylie Layson from the Adbusters Foundation. You know, he started this whole thing, Occupy Wall Street, and the Robin Hood Foundation. He did that, the Robin Hood tax. I think he's the one who's paying for your offices on First and First, though I do know that Van Jones was part of that. By the way, is Van here? Who are you? You're fascinating. Well, it's nice of you to say. I'll tell you what. I am a PhD in neurology. I would love to study your brain. Would you come to my office? If you come to my office and just let me study you, I'll introduce you to those people if they're part of this. I said, you forgive me if that sounds a lot like taking me to a lab and cutting me open and looking at my brain. No. I just want to ask you questions. You can do that here. No, I really want to do this in my lab. We don't get a lot of people who know these things. Oh, so you confirm this. By the way, do you know that Kylie's very dangerous but very clever? How do you know about him? Who are you? I'm just a guy who pays attention to politics a little bit. Up walks my friend. Happens to be a senior banking executive and a liberal, not insane, just a liberal. She walks up shyly smiling, and this lady turns and says, do you know him? She goes, yes, for a long time. Who is he? And she looks at me and she says, if he'd wanted you to know, he would have told you. See, I was controlling the conversation by asking the questions. If you're ever confronted in a sense like this and you don't want to play their game and you do not want to play their game, turn around and ask the questions. He who asks the questions controls the conversation. So control the conversation. Oh, and by the way, conceal carry and know how to use it. Oh, and by the way, have shooting insurance just in case you have to defend yourself. God forbid you have to do it. Oh, and by the way, pray that that doesn't happen. Ezra Levant is the founder of Rebel Media, and he was going out and doing himself some journalism. He happens to have been doing that while he's Jewish. This happened in the fallen country of Canada. Watch or listen.
Well, because it's not up to him to say you have free speech there, but not you. Well, yeah, because you're inciting this crowd and then it reaches the peace. Well, your friends alone.
So you know, just in the background, people are waving not just the Hamas flag, but the Iranian flag, and they're wearing black masks over their face. But of course, Ezra Levant, unmasked, a pretty well-known journalist in Canada, is inciting them by asking questions.
Inciting them, and that's exactly what you're trying to do.
Because I'm a Jew.
No, because you're trying to incite them.
I haven't tried to incite them. I want you to take a picture of the hate crime that
You
you're
could have done it on
abiding.
the other side. You didn't need to walk over
No,
here.
I want you to go out. I don't
Now I'm
think
going to tell you to
anyone-
move over there.
And
if you
ultimately,
don't
I allowed you to take that video.
Let's get
I allowed
that
you to
on
take that
Yeah.
video.
I'm not
So you're
crossing the
refusing
road.
to
Do
leave?
you hear that, cop? I allowed you to take that video. I allowed you to take it.
I'm refusing to leave.
Why?
Because I'm a Jew, I'm a citizen, and I'm your boss. And I don't leave if you say Jews aren't
Well, you know
allowed
what?
on the street.
In the interest of keeping peace here and public safety, you're under arrest for breach of the peace. Take a minute.
Good. Take this. I'm being arrested because I'm standing on the sidewalk in my city.
This was during the same weekend where the dictator of Canada, Justin Trudeau, knew this was going on, where Montreal was being attacked and there were the violent riots and people were in the streets saying, the final solution is coming for you. Do you know what the final solution is? If you ever find yourself on the side of coming up to two people eating dinner and trying to assault them rhetorically into answering a question, you're probably not the good guy. If you ever find yourself in the position of arresting a man for undertaking an act of journalism, simply asking a question, you are not the good guy. And if you have any questions about that, just consult this. Every single time you consult the Word of God, you're reading words that you can repeat and speak. God is pro-free speech. He's also pro-accountability. And Jesus did not go out for ambush interviews. He could have. And there's a time and a place for that with politicians and public figures. But dudes sitting having dinner? No, you're just a divider seeking to conquer. Good news is God sees.